Okay, I'm back, and today I thought I'd talk about cool Japan. So the first question you're probably going to ask is, what the hell is cool Japan? Okay, I should explain. Cool Japan is a program set up by the Japanese government, and this program is supposed to invigorate the Japanese industry, but not just Japanese industry in general. So it's not like for electronics or manufacturing. It's for pop culture items, things like anime, movies, even things like food or fashion. So it's to get people from other countries more interested in these types of Japanese things, which I think is good. But to be honest, I think people from other countries generally know about this. Their goal is to not only get people to know about it, but also to buy it and purchase it, which I think is a really good idea. So this started about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and they've been working to try to make Japan more popular worldwide. They're trying to promote things like bands and anime, etc. Some people think they're doing a good job, other people think they're not doing such a good job. So they're trying to look for, different things they can invest in and put money in that will, really teach people about and make people more interested in Japan. I think one of the first places they should look is this channel. So, if you really want cool Japan, right here. Sorry about that. The Cool Japan project has been criticized by some people, especially the singer/actor Gackt. If you don't know, Gackt is a singer from a visual K band. It's kind of like a rock band. I know his face kind of looks like it's made out of plastic, but he's actually a smart guy. And recently there was an article about him, which I probably linked to below, and you can read about it, but he went to a live-action Naruto performance. Apparently they have like a theatrical performance of Naruto, which I think is kind of cool, but he said there weren't that many people in Japan there, and he thought, it's kind of a shame, and he went on a rant about Cool Japan, and he said, nobody knows what Cool Japan does, nobody in Japan knows what it is, what are they doing with all of this, what are they doing with all the money? And so I'm sure at first you thought this is a good idea, maybe Japan, Cool Japan has like a website or something that kind of promotes things, and which would be good, but they're actually doing more than that. They actually have a budget, so the government, pays money for them to do this. And I thought, they're just putting a little bit of money in it, and I found out they're actually spending about $800 million US. When I heard about this, I was shocked. So, if they have that much money, give me $1 million. You don't even need to do that. Give me $10,000. You have the extra money. I'm doing something. I'm doing my part. Give me some money. Back to the story. Gackt was talking about this, and he was saying that this money wasn't being used properly. He said, where does this money go to? And in the article below, they said they kind of researched it, and they said one thing it went to was this website called Tokyo Top 100, which it basically tells you like the top 100 things to do in Tokyo, which I think is a really good idea. So I checked out this website briefly, and it did have some cool things to do in Tokyo, which I think this is a good use of the money, but it's like, really, does it cost $800 million to make one website? I don't think so. So where's the rest of the money going? And they found that some of the other money went to some company that makes designer gauze or something. I don't know what that's for. I don't know what that has to do with Cool Japan. And another one that makes abacuses, which, if you don't know, if you haven't been to Japan, the abacus is actually really popular in Japan. Lots of kids learn this as children, and it helps them with addition and subtraction. So if you ever meet a Japanese person and they've learned to use an abacus as a child, you'll notice their math is really good. They're really, really fast at math. But I'm going off on a tangent. Sorry about that. So there's a company, and they're making these custom soro bands to sell in the Middle East, and apparently they're using some of the money for that, which I guess is good, but is that really Cool Japan? When you think Cool Japan, do you think custom-made abacuses? I don't know, that might be a waste of money. The rest of the money, I don't know what happened with it, but I actually did a little bit of research myself to find out what are they doing with this money. And one thing I found is they have a fund and they're spending a little bit of money on a channel to distribute anime and manga online. So I thought this is a really good idea. They haven't done this before, and I think one of the main complaints people that like anime, or I should say otaku, they have overseas is it's difficult to get anime and manga quickly. In Japan, it'll come out, like, let's say on Monday, but you won't get it in America until like 1 or 2 months later, which is ridiculous. I mean, they should just have somebody translate it at the same time, and it should come out, you know, at the same day as it comes out in Japan. There's no reason to, you know, have any kind of delay or translation delay in 2015. You can just do it all digitally. So I don't know what their deal is. They're being slow. So one of the things they're complaining about in Japan is, hey, there's so much piracy of anime and manga, and the main reason is there's no way to get it legally, quickly, and in a timely manner. They should just be fast, and I'm sure plenty of people would be willing to pay for it. So I'm not going to say, you know, it's their fault that people are pirating, but no, I am going to say that. It is their fault. Be faster with that. You don't have to be so slow. It's not like it takes forever to translate this stuff. Just go faster. So I'm glad they are spending money on that, so hopefully this will speed that up and it'll give people around the world better access to manga and anime. Another thing they're doing is they're spending money on something called like a Japan channel. It's not in, I think, the United States or like France or England, but it's in Vietnam, I believe, and or maybe Malaysia. Anyway, so what they're doing is they'll have a channel, or like they'll pay for some time on some other local channel where they can, you know, focus on Japanese things. They'll introduce Japanese things, they'll put on Japanese television shows, etc. And they'll have local people from that country, let's say Vietnam for example, come to Japan and they'll try Japanese foods or show some like Japanese goods, etc. So I thought that's somewhat of a good idea, but to be honest, some Japanese TV is terrible. I know some people are going to say, oh, it's just because you don't speak Japanese, or, okay, maybe you do speak Japanese and you can understand it, but you don't understand the culture. It's not just me. Lots of Japanese people have stopped watching Japanese TV and they complain about it because lots of Japanese TV shows, you'll realize once you get here, are like people going to restaurants and then trying and go, oishi! And they say this over and over again, and it's just like that where they go to different restaurants. And that'd be okay if it was one show, but it's multiple shows where they do this, and they just have celebrities reacting to good food. And it's what makes it even worse is it's fake. It's like the restaurants pay the TV shows for people to go there and say the food's good. So it's just like a long infomercial about something, and it's every week. It's terrible. There are good TV shows. I'm sure if you look online, you'll see like some funny prank shows and things, or they have like informative stuff, but in general, it's not that good. Or sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I don't know if you need a whole channel in another country, that kind of stuff. Hopefully they only take the good parts and export those, like the anime or like the kind of informational shows, etc. Anyways, I'm going on another tangent. Back to the other thing I noticed they spent money on is they spent it on some like green tea cafe that's opening in America, which I think's somewhat good and somewhat bad. I think it's good to like export green tea to America. I think it's nice to have a cafe, but I don't know if you need to be spending money just to open like a cafe. I guess it's a good idea, but lots of things they're saying is like how we're gonna have the highest quality green tea and we're gonna have, you know, like high quality Japanese sweets. And as an American, I don't think Americans really have that refined palate to, you know the difference between high quality green tea and low quality green tea. So I don't know how well this business venture is going to do. If it's just one place, it's good, but they're talking about we're going to expand it to 50 different locations in the U.S. Come on. You don't really need that. You're not going to be the Starbucks Japanese version. Work on one place, or work on just exporting green tea in general. You can do better. I think they can do that, but all these cafes I don't know about. So that might be a waste of money. I thought I'd be positive and try to give them some suggestions. So, one thing I want them to do is, there's this guy in Japan called Isao Machi. And basically, what he is, he's like a modern-day samurai. Well, maybe not really samurai, but basically he's a master swordsman. And I'll put a link, up here. I'll try to show a little video and a link here. So click on that and check him out. Basically what he does is he just cuts things in half with a sword. And I know that seems maybe a little bit boring to you. Well, actually it probably doesn't. Cutting things in half with a sword is awesome. Watch the video. He's cutting baseballs in half. He's cutting mushrooms in half. He's cutting everything in half. Anything that can be cut in half is cut in half. This guy should have his own YouTube channel, just like they used to have that channel, or maybe they still do have that channel called like, Can We Blend It? He should have a channel called Can I Cut It? Where people just submit things for him to cut. I want to see him do real life Fruit Ninja, where people are just throwing fruits at him and he's cutting it in half. That should be one of the cool Japan things. Give this guy a stipend of like $100,000 a year just to cut things in half with samurai swords. That in itself, that's cool Japan right there. Spend money on that. The next thing is, I think in Tokyo they're planning on, or maybe they've already made it, like a manga library where people can go and read manga and learn about the history of manga. I don't know if it's a library or a museum, but anyways, they need to make that online. They should translate some old manga and maybe overdub some old, or maybe just subtitle some old anime, and then put this online for free so people can read this and learn about these types of, like old manga and anime. It's not like you can't buy these things in other countries anyways. It's not like, for example, I'm sure it's probably really difficult to find Draimon in, like France or America or something else. People don't know what that is. Or even like maybe Crayon Shin-chan or Urusei Yatsura. These are all perfectly good anime and manga that are just old, but people still would enjoy them, so just buy the rights. The government should pay money, buy the rights to them, put them online for free so the world can enjoy them. And then maybe this will get people to actually, become interested in anime and manga, and they'll actually want to purchase it from Japan. Or even better, come to Japan. My last idea is show other things in Japan that, people may not know about. So people know what a kimono is in other countries, but unfortunately kimonos are too expensive for people to buy. I thought kimonos were just things people wore, and I thought like, oh, okay, maybe it costs like $100 or $50, or maybe at most like $200. When I got here, I found out there's a lot of kimonos that cost like $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. They're really, really expensive. So that's not something you can really export to another country. I mean, I love Japanese things, but like I'm not paying $10,000 for a kimono that I never wear in America. I think that's not such a good thing to export. But the fabric for kimono is great. I actually have some things like belts or shirts that have like the kind of kimono fabric on them, and they look really cool. They have like interesting Japanese designs. They should export those things to other countries. I think that's something that they could actually sell in other countries. I hope they get things working so people from all over the world can enjoy these kind of Japanese pop culture items. If you have any ideas of things they should do, leave them below, tell me. If you work for the Japanese government and have access to this money and these funds, give some to me in my channel. And anyways, until next time, see you. If you enjoyed that video, subscribe. Also, feel free to comment down below and check out some of my other videos here. Or is it here?